evening, everybody. I'd like to call the September meeting of the Montgomery County Legislature to order at 7 o'clock. Clerk, can I have a roll call of our members, please?
Chairman Peck.
Present.
Legislator Isabel.
Present.
Legislator Patel.
Here.
Legislator Kelly.
Present.
Legislator Sweet.
Here.
Legislator Diamond.
Present.
Legislator Headwell.
Present.
Legislator Wilson.
Present.
Legislator Duchessis.
Present.
All right. Legislator Isabel, would you like to lead us in our salute to the flag?
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing as we honor our tradition of notating the fallen since our last meeting. Robert J. Foose, United States World War II veteran, served the Philippine Island Tour, recipient of the Army of Occupation Medal in Japan, Asiatic Pacific Campaign Medal, Conduct Medal. Joseph Swank, Vietnam veteran, United States Army, served the country from 67 to 73. Mark Marone, grew up in Amsterdam, 73, graduate of Amsterdam High, enlisted in the Marine Corps for the United States, served honorably as a sergeant. Judge Ron Dygert's father from the town of Palatine, Robert C. Bob Dygert. And last, with heaviest of hearts, Vicki L. Kelly, the mother of legislator Martin Kelly, and she proudly served her country in the United States Army. A moment of silence, please. Thank you. Also would like to take a moment to welcome back Legislator Isabel, who's been away from us the last several months on medical leave, and great to have you back in the fold, Legislator Isabel.
I'd like to thank everybody. I'd like to thank people for the cards. And I'd like to thank Brian for sitting in on Public Safety Commission.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right. Now we've reached the point of our meeting for public comment and presentations. Does anybody want to step to the rail and make public comment?
Do I speak now, or do you want me to? I would like to speak about the solar projects.
Yes, you can, sir. Please state your name.
My name is Raymond Dykeman.
Okay.
I'm from Glen, New York, and I'm owner of Dykeman & Sons Incorporated. And it's been a lot of negative talk about the solar projects, and I guess I'm here to defend my family a little bit. And what I would like to say is we've been under a lot of stress the last 7 years because of processing problems that we've had, and these solar projects are kind of a lifeline that's been thrown out there that we may be able to use some of our land to harvest the sun's rays and continue on in the industry that I like to do, which is dairy farming. And I don't know how people stand on this, but my budget for this year is a loss for $715,000. I cannot keep going forward in the industry living on the same income that I got 40 years ago. So I would be willing to talk with any of the legislators at my home or whatever, but I just wanted to take a couple minutes with all the negativity that are on these projects to say it would be really nice if somebody actually came to the families that are dealing with the pressures of being in an industry that may not survive with rising expenses every year and limiting the production. I look at the solar panel option as maybe a forever ag. If 30 years from now we need to turn this land back into agriculture for food production services, we can do that. If we let it go to business parks and things like that or additional housing, we don't have that option. So I just wanted to take a couple minutes to explain. I would really love to talk to anybody that wants to actually come down, sit with me, and understand what dairy people or any people in agriculture have gone through the last 7 years. It has not been very good. And businesses do change. I'm a big boy. I understand that things might have to happen that I didn't plan on happening. I didn't put that addition on my dairy to think that someday I wouldn't be doing it. I did it because I thought I was going to be in the industry going. There's a lot of milk coming down the thruway. There's a lot of processing plants that have been closed. We're running out of options. The solar is a lifeline to the farmers in the area.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Dykeman, for your public comment. Is there anyone else in our audience who would like to make public comment?
Yes. My name is Mike Cinquani. I'm mayor of the city of Amsterdam. On behalf of the residents, the employers, the social service organizations, and the merchants in the city, I'm here to thank the county legislature for bringing the CDTA support resolution up to a vote this evening, and to also ask each of you for your support of this critical initiative. Though our city is the largest municipality in New York State not to have public transportation service, it is important that we all understand that the cities, towns, and villages of Albany, Schenectady, Rensselaer, and even Saratoga counties would be in the same boat if not for state-subsidized CDTA coverage in those areas. At this moment in time, we have the support necessary from CDTA and from Albany to get this done. Your approval of this resolution is exactly the signal needed to turn that support into a state-of-the-art $6 million transportation service for our county. Previously, I submitted to the county executive letters of support for CDTA from a bunch of social service organizations, employers, representatives of small businesses, healthcare providers, and also the Montgomery County Department of Social Services. Each of you know or are familiar with the individuals who wrote these letters. Tonight I've come with 3 of them. 2 can speak for our community's elderly and our youth about the important and in some cases urgent needs their constituencies have for local bus service. And the 3rd will briefly address how becoming part of the CDTA region will deliver economic benefits to our city and the entire county. And we're going to start out with Dave Jordan.
Thank you, Mayor Zapani.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mayor. Hi, I'm Dave Jordan. I'm the Executive Director for the Montgomery County Office for Aging. It's good to actually meet people in person for a change. Our agency, first of all, I want to thank the legislature for helping to fund our transportation program that we recently expanded, OFA Senior Transport. Just to let you know, it's been very successful. We're doing about 150 to 200 rides a month, and it's expanding every day. We're doing more and more rides. But with that being said, we can't serve everybody. There's a population that we're not reaching with that. Part of that is hesitancy just because of our name. I'll give you an example. We met with a family, a daughter whose mother was 88 years old. Her and her husband are retiring and moving to Florida. She cares for her mother, makes meals, does housekeeping, those types of things. Her 88-year-old mother says, I don't need any services from the Office for Aging, I'm not old. And she's 88 years old. God bless her, but she can't take care of herself. It was very evident when we were there. And what the sister or the daughter was hoping is that us being there would help her realize that our services are necessary. But if she is not going to reach out to us because of her name, we're hoping a resource like CDTA would be a resource. It wouldn't come with that stigma that, oh, I have to call the Office for Aging for a ride. I don't think it's a huge population, but we don't really know how many people are doing it because of that. So we're just not sure. There's very limited transportation options, but a very high need. We know that because we do annual surveys for all of the clients that we serve throughout the year, about 7,500. And transportation, even with our transportation program, it still comes back as the highest need, depending on what people need within our service area. It still comes back as the highest need. Our county, in Montgomery County, we have the 3rd highest percentage of seniors of all counties in New York State, the 2nd highest rate of poverty among all seniors in New York State, of all counties in New York State, and 50% of the clients that we serve are over 75. A lot of people think because we're commissioned to serve 60 and older that, the 61-year-old walks into our door and, needs some counseling services or whatever. Most of the people we serve are much older than that. Most are in their upper 70s, early 80s. So the 62-year-old isn't typically the client that we see. And 2/3 of the seniors that we serve live alone, which means transportation is a very big need, because 40% of the people that we serve don't have a viable means of transportation, which means they're either reaching out to people outside of the area to come and transport them, or they're just not going to those appointments, or they're just saying, oh, that follow-up at the doctor, I don't need to go there, or the grocery store, I can go another week without going to get groceries, or whatever the case may be. CDTA would give us another option to give to seniors. Just to give you an idea of what a typical OFA client is that we serve, they're 76 years old. They don't have family members that live close. We define that as within 30 minutes. They're a non-driver. They have multiple medical issues, and they need transportation to doctor's appointments, the pharmacy, grocery store, and possibly to the hair salon or a community center. Our agency's mission is to serve older adults and help them maintain their independence, dignity, and quality of life. Having CDTA as another transportation option would help us to fulfill our mission. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Jordan. Yes, sir.
Good evening. My name is John Sumter. On behalf of the City of Amsterdam and the community for the CDTA bus, I'm here to support and hope that this can happen. I work in the City of Amsterdam for over a little under 10 years. I work with the youth. I'm the director of Creative Connections Clubhouse, founder of Wishful Thinking Foundation. Bringing the community together is very important, and quality of life is very important, and that's why I like to work in the community and help with the youth. Over the years, I witness and see a lot of, whether it's family members or youth, as a family travel, whether it's to the grocery store or to the laundromat by foot. And to me, it's a day's trip. And I think the quality of life and the time frame could be better used and utilized for their optimal success with the public transportation system that's reliable, something that's there and they know that they can use and utilize. I mean, over the last 10 years, I look in Amsterdam, and from the industrial park on 5S to Route 30, the walking bridge, and all the other events and things that are going on in the city, I feel like it's on the rise. And having a transportation system to help integrate and support jobs, I know there's jobs at Kmart and Fonda, and there's rides offered by that company itself. But what happens to CDTA is transporting these individuals, as well as students. There's a lot of students within the area of Amsterdam that could utilize the bus systems during days that weather's really bad, or they can't get to school on foot. And I just think it's just something to consider, and I hope that you guys have the opportunity to pass for the betterment of our and quality of life for the county of Montgomery. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sumter.
Yes.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Bearcroft, Director of Community and Economic Development with the City of Amsterdam. Again, I want to mirror what my colleagues have said and stated about CDTA and the importance of bringing it to Amsterdam. This is something that we've been working on feverishly for the past couple of years. We've seen the real need since the Transportation Department unfortunately left the city in 2017, and that's been 4 years that we've had no reliable mode of public transportation within the city limits. From an economic development standpoint, when we're looking at private investors or looking at having discussions with developers, one of the first things they ask us is, what's the transportation routes here? What does your public transportation look like? And when we usually say we currently don't have that offered, we've looked at, piecemealing together some options that we currently have within the city and county that sometimes isn't that favorable for them to want to have further discussions with us. A lot of places will look at offsetting costs by having their own transportation options, like the new apartment complex that's going in on the East End. To mirror what John has said, they see a need in that specific neighborhood, and they're having their own transportation services because we're so severely lacking in that. Not only would it benefit everything that everyone said about the city, its residents, the quality of life, and being offered to school students to have a reliable mode of transportation, which that has become an issue from 2 years ago to now. We're seeing it even more of children not being able to get to school on time, reliable services. We're also having that opportunity to cater now to employment opportunities from Schenectady County. Working with CDTA in their Schenectady offices, we now can tap into that workforce that is in Schenectady County, not only for Amsterdam, but our 5S corridor that is looking for to fill some jobs. And As that grows and as it becomes successful in Amsterdam, we're hoping that that will translate across the rest of Montgomery County and into the western section of Montgomery County, so we can have a fully cohesive look at transportation in our city. So as the mayor had stated, we're the only one of the biggest cities in New York State that currently does not have access to public transportation for our residents. And it would be a really drive when we're at that table for economic development opportunities, talking to private investors, and being able to attract new investment into the city. We have so much going on right now. We have that up curve from 2018 in our DRI award, and we really just want to maintain that relationship, keep investment opportunities coming in, and again, this would be a big drive for the city to be able to offer those services.
Thank you, Ms. Bearcroft. Is there anyone else in the audience who would like to make public comment? Hearing none, we'll move on to our proclamation this evening for Direct Support Professionals Recognition Week. And I'd like to call Jennifer Saunders to the front of the room here. Jennifer? And Matthew, would you like to come up as well? Good to see you. Okay. Whereas the County of Montgomery is proud to recognize those dedicated individuals who give back to their community, such as direct support professionals, who are the primary providers of long-term support and services for millions of individuals with disabilities. And whereas direct support professionals went above and beyond during the COVID-19 pandemic, helping to keep individuals with disabilities safe and supported throughout an extraordinary, challenging time. And whereas the direct support professionals are hardworking, professional, and extremely caring, and whereas each day they assist individuals with disabilities with their personal needs and provide a broad range of support, including the preparation of meals, helping with medication, bathing, dressing, mobility, transportation, and general daily affairs. And whereas direct support professionals also support individuals with any employment opportunities in the community that they acquire, and whereas direct support professionals provide a key role in supporting individuals with disabilities and help keep them connected to their families and communities. And whereas during this week-long observance, we recognize the dedication and vital role of direct support professionals in enhancing the lives of individuals with disabilities of all ages, and extend appreciation for their contributions that help many overcome challenges and reach their full potential. Now, therefore, be it resolved, County Executive Matthew L. Ossenfort and Legislative Chairman Michael J. Pepp, on behalf of the Montgomery County Legislature, hereby proclaim September 12 through 18, 2021 as Direct Support Professional Recognition Week in Montgomery County, and ask that residents use this as an opportunity to highlight the important work of not only direct support professionals nationwide, but those in your life and in our community. Jennifer?
I just want to say thank you to each of you for publicly recognizing direct support professionals. Throughout the pandemic, they were overlooked as an essential healthcare worker, and it means a lot to have this body recognize them publicly. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you for all you do. All right. Clerk, are there any communications?
No.
No communications. Thank you. Can I accept a motion from the floor for the approval of all of the minutes? Legislator Headwell, second. Legislator Wilson, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Yes.
All right, now a motion from the floor for the acceptance of budgetary transfers.
So moved.
Legislator Kelly, Legislator Pertel, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Yes.
Now a motion from the floor for acceptance of the procurement record.
So moved.
Legislator Kelly and Sweet, all in favor? Opposed? Abstentions?
Yes.
Is there any old business that anybody would like to discuss? before we move on to this evening's resolutions? Hearing none, let us now move on to this evening's resolutions. Our first resolution, resolution number 179, a resolution authorizing the county executive to sign a contract with Lens Hardware LLC to install an upgraded telemetry SCADA system at the Montgomery County Sanitary District Number 1 to monitor the plant and pumping stations after hours. Sponsors were legislators Sweet and Peck. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Pass.
Our next resolution is a resolution authorizing the county executive to sign agreement for control of snow and ice. This comes from the Department of Public Works, and our sponsors were legislators Wilson and Duchessis. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Pass.
Our next resolution is a resolution authorizing the county executive to sign easement agreements for bridge replacement, Cemetery Drive Bridge in the town of Florida. Sponsors were legislators Pertel and Wilson. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Pass.
Our next resolution, a resolution amending the 2021 operating budget with forfeiture monies from the Office of the District Attorney. Sponsors were legislators Hedwell Jr. and Pertel. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Pass.
Our next resolution, a resolution amending the 2021 operating budget, accepting additional Stop DWI crackdown enforcement funds coming to us from our Stop DWI department. Sponsors were legislators Wilson and Sweet. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Pass.
Our next resolution, a resolution authorizing the county executive to sign a contract with Ventec Incorporated for coming to us from the Office of Social Services. Sponsors were legislators Pett and Diamond. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Pass.
Our next resolution is a resolution authorizing the county executive to sign contract with Fond du Fultonville Central School District, Berkshire Farm Center, and Services for Youth, and Hamilton and Fulton Montgomery BOCES for Home Run Prevention Program from the Office of Social Services. Sponsors were legislators Pertel and Sweet. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Pass.
Our next resolution is a resolution authorizing the county executive to sign agreement, structural component depreciation model, recorder building from the Office of Social Services. Sponsors were legislators Pett and Diamond. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Pass.
Our next resolution is a resolution amending the resolution number 175 of 2021 from the Office of the County Executive. Sponsors were legislators Diamond and Peck. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Pass.
Our next resolution is a resolution authorizing the county executive to sign a renewal agreement with Humana from the Personnel Office. Sponsors were legislators Hedwell Jr. and Diamond. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Pass.
Our next resolution, a resolution amending the 2020 Delta Dental Renewal Agreement, also from the Office of Personnel. Sponsors were legislators Sweet and Diamond. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Pass.
Our next resolution, a resolution authorizing the county executive to sign a renewal agreement with Eastern Medical Support, also from the Office of Personnel. Sponsors were legislators Pett and Diamond. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Pass.
Our next resolution is a resolution authorizing the county executive to sign a renewal agreement with Matrix Araya from the Office of Personnel. Sponsors were legislators Pett and Hedwell Jr. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Pass.
Our next resolution is a resolution authorizing the county executive to sign renewal agreement, Labor Relations Services, Romer, Wallens, Gold, and Minot, LLP from the Office of Personnel. Sponsors were Hedwell Jr. and Pep. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions.
Pass.
Our next resolution is a resolution authorizing county executive to sign an agreement with MVP for health insurance from the Office of Personnel. Sponsors were legislators Diamond and Peck. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions.
Pass.
Our next resolution is a resolution authorizing the county executive to sign a renewal contract amendment with I Am Responding from the Office of Emergency Management. Sponsors were legislators Pertell and Headwell Jr. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions.
Pass.
Our next resolution is a resolution supporting intermunicipal agreement for services from the Amsterdam Fire Department, City of Amsterdam, coming to us from the Office of Emergency Management. Sponsors were legislators Wilson and Sweet. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions.
Pass.
Our next resolution is a resolution accepting grant application from Montgomery County Micro Enterprise Program Home and Community Renewal, coming to us from the Economic Development and Planning Office. Sponsors were legislators Peck and Sweet. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions.
Pass.
Our next resolution is a resolution authorizing county executive to sign amended agreement with Lyro Engineers Incorporated for engineering services at Exit 29 redevelopment project from the Office of Economic Development and Planning. Sponsors were legislators Swede and Wilson. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions.
Pass.
Our next resolution is a resolution scheduling public hearing, review of agricultural district number 1 from the Office of Economic Development and Planning. Sponsors were legislators Sweet and Wilson. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions.
Pass.
Our next resolution authorizing county executive to sign grant award to update county all-hazard mitigation grant program from the Office of Economic Development and Planning. Sponsors were legislators Peck and Wilson. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions.
Pass.
The next resolution is a resolution amending resolution number 173 of 2021 from the Office of the County Executive. Sponsors were legislators Wilson and Sweet. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions.
Pass.
Our next resolution is a resolution authorizing and approving a settlement agreement to an action relating to the opioid crisis from our own office of the county legislature. Sponsors were legislators Peck and Pertell. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions.
Pass.
Our next resolution is a resolution approving the retirement days credited monthly for part-time, full-time elected officials and appointed officials from the Office of Personnel. Sponsors were legislators Wilson and Diamond. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions.
Pass.
Our next resolution is a resolution amending rules of procedure of the Montgomery County Legislature for the year 2021 from the county legislature. Sponsors were legislators Pertell and Wilson. Discussion.
Can you please go over the changes that were made?
Absolutely. Counselor.
You all should have gotten an email earlier this week with the changes highlighted in them. It's the changes that were discussed in committee last month are currently what is on the table. Yeah.
This will be up to the red.
So, page 2 is basically staying the same. It was called a question. There was a proposal to move it to 2/3 to majority, and it's staying at 2/3. So that's not a change. We clarified the call to question procedure. We added a provision about the clerk of the legislature, what happens when she's not available. We also added a provision for a committee chair, what happens when they're not available. There was a discussion about what should happen in committee. That is not on the table currently. That was voted down. So currently that stands as it previously was. And then there's the ethics, or, then there's the provision about if you abstain, having to explain your vote, that is currently in the revisions.
I make a motion to amend, to add that if something is voted down in committee, then it does not go forward.
I'll second.
Sweet. If voted on in committee,
If it's voted no
no.
to move on in committee, then it will die, it does not move forward with a negative
Recommendation.
recommendation.
So the previous language, you want to re-adopt the previous language that was in committee last month, just for clarification.
Further discussion. We have a motion and a second. Legislator Sweet. Legislator Chester.
I'd be opposed to the amendment, because that amendment would allow really a minority of the majority that's sitting on the committee to act as gatekeepers so that legislation cannot be acted upon by the full board.
Thank you, sir. Legislator Sweet.
I would echo what Legislator Chesney just said. And I believe I said this when we discussed this the first time. Not saying that anyone here would do it, but there would be a potential for a chair of the legislature to set up their committees to be able to block, just like Legislator Jesse just said, any type of anything that would come before the board. So I would definitely not be in support of that.
Legislator Patel.
What they said.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry, Legislator Bennett.
Well, I mean, I can count to 5, but just for the record, I would say rules of procedure, we indicate that we're going to follow Robert's Rules of Orders. So in this case, I guess that's an exception. The other issue is any of the surrounding counties, any other legislative body, their vote counts and means something. And by adopting this, your vote doesn't mean anything. So those are the two reasons I'll be supporting the amendment. And like I say, I can count to 5, so, but I wanted to just get it on the record.
Thank you, sir. Further discussion. Roll call, please.
Okay, roll call on the amendment. Legislator Headwell,
Yes.
Legislator Wilson,
No.
Legislator Duchessis,
No.
Chairman Peck,
No.
Legislator Isabel,
No.
Legislator Patel,
No.
Legislator Kelly,
No.
Legislator Sweet,
No.
Legislator Diamond.
Aye.
There.
Now vote on the original amendment. I mean, the original resolution, excuse me,
Roll call.
please.
Legislator Patel,
Yes.
Legislator Kelly,
No.
Legislator Sweet,
Yes.
Legislator Diamond,
No.
Legislator Headwell,
No.
Legislator Wilson,
Yes.
Legislator Duchessis,
Yes.
Chairman Peck,
No.
Legislator Isabel,
Yes.
pass.
All right, thank you all. Our next resolution, number 204, resolution in support of joining Capital District Transit Authority from the county legislature. Sponsors were legislators Wilson and Pertel. Discussion.
Mr. Chairman.
Legislator Duchessis.
I'd like to be heard in support of this resolution. I understand that opposition to this can be defensible in some ways. But what is not defensible is an argument I heard in committee regarding the fact that the beneficiaries of this, the largest group of beneficiaries, would be residents of the city of Amsterdam, fully 1/3 of the county's population. And that argument, it kind of goes back to a time that county government was a board of supervisors. And there was at that time a lot of animus between city supervisors and town supervisors. In fact, I think that's one of the reasons why the voters of the county chose to replace that system of government with legislative districts. The idea being that we were to represent the good of the county overall, and not just individual towns. And so making that argument about the benefit to the city is, I think, unfair, unkind, and wrong-headed. I know what it's like to stand at the rail and address the Board of Supervisors, where the animus that I spoke of earlier was palpable. And so you go through making your arguments, knowing perhaps that many of them are falling upon deaf ears. So with that, I want to ask my fellow legislators that maybe before tonight you were going to vote against this resolution, but I would ask you to reconsider and understand that it's really the county that is being served and the county that will benefit. We've heard the outline of what those benefits were earlier. Those are all good reasons to support this. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Discussion. Legislator Diamond.
Again, I can count to 5, so, but just to be on the record, based on my 40-plus years in the transportation business, I kind of outlined the reasons why I'm not supporting this resolution. What I will say about the resolution, it's a lot of sizzle and no steak. I don't think the city of Amsterdam's going to get what they are looking for, and obviously the people that Dave Jordan referred to that live up county are not going to get the transportation that he referred to. So the one bright spot is that legislator Nine will get his picture with Santa Barbara and Tonto in front of a new electric bus, so that's a plus. But I won't be supporting this.
Thank you, sir. Legislator Kelly.
As a legislator, since the beginning of this new form of government, we've seen great transformations in our county. And the one thing that has fallen by the wayside is transportation. And repeating over and over and over with our current transportation, we've met with them a few times before, and they said, oh, we can work here, we can do there. Well, now it's time, we need to move on. Do I think that immediately will transportation be solved? No, but doing the same thing over and over and over and expecting a different result is insanity. So I am in support of this resolution.
Thank you, sir. Further discussion. Legislator Hedlund.
I won't be supporting this resolution. I think this resolution is good for the city of Amsterdam, and it is good for parts of Montgomery County, but it's still the people that live, the elderly people, the young people that have one car, that might have a sick kid, that need transportation, that live out in Charleston, that live out in parts of my district. This is not going to help them. I brought this up last time in committee, last month we talked about it, and to this point there's still been no answers to how this CDTA would help those people that are miles and miles outside of the bus loop. So at the present time, I won't be supporting.
Roll call.
Legislator Wilson.
Yes.
Legislator Duchessis.
Yes.
Chairman Peck,
Yes.
Legislator Isabel,
Yes.
Legislator Purtell,
Yes.
Legislator Kelly,
Yes.
Legislator Sweet,
Yes.
Legislator Diamond,
No.
Legislator Headwell.
No.
Pass.
Thank you. Our next resolution is a resolution authorizing the county executive to authorize advertising for bids for the FMCC wastewater treatment plant alarm system project. Sponsors were legislators Pep and Wilson. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Pass.
And our final resolution is a resolution approving abstract of audited claims. Sponsors were legislators Diamond and Wilson. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions?
Pass.
Motion to adjourn.
Not yet, sir. Under other business, you were all furnished this afternoon and find on your desks at your stations a potential resolution for our consideration. It's a resolution opposing COVID-19 vaccine mandates imposed by federal, state, or local government bodies. The reason it comes to us is Executive Ossenfort has indicated that there are other counties in the state who have already approved this. It's not something for us to vote on this evening. But essentially, I wanted to put it on the table for discussion purposes to see if it would be something that we would be willing to entertain at a future meeting. And before we get into our discussion, Executive Ossenfort, can you please reframe what I already said here?
Chair, I think you did a great job framing it. I've been hearing from, you'll see in the resolution, this really is focused on the mandate directed at private sector businesses with 100 or more employees to be required that they either vaccinate or produce a negative test result on a weekly basis. Certainly there's a lot of concern in the business community. When we had an opportunity at the county to make a decision on this, I chose to not go the route of a mandatory vaccination. For my personal opinion was at the county, the juice wasn't worth the squeeze. I think we're doing as much as we can to be proactive and preventative, but the mandates often create more issues. And in addition to the burden that's going to be placed on businesses, it's really just creating more issues for us as it relates to hiring and retaining employees and some of the issues we've had there. So you're seeing what's happening with some of the local hospitals. It was front page news today on the recorder. So, I have my personal opinions on it. I'm not supportive of the mandates, but, certainly wanted to just put it on your desk for discussion, take a look at it. If there's anything I can, help out with as far as information. I have heard from some local businesses, and, a lot of these businesses were up and running during the heat of the pandemic, and, just feel at this point, not only the management side, but the employee side, I really feel like it's a kick in the you-know-what, after really going through this whole period of time without it, and all of a sudden, you're looking at possibly having to test people weekly, but it is proactive, it is aggressive, but, it's something for your consideration. I am going to be meeting with the governor next week with other executives on this topic. So if there's any thoughts or concerns, one way or the other, I'd love to hear from you.
Anybody else want to comment on this at this particular point in time?
I do.
Legislator DeChessie.
Other than making a statement about an opinion, what purpose does this serve?
Very good point, Legislator DeChessie. It's becomes a very political in nature type resolution, and it won't move the needle either way, other than perhaps to show local businesses that we are in support of them perhaps not incurring additional costs for testing and siding with them. But it would obviously be a resolution that would buck the federal government's decree and mandate, as well as what's going to be, if not already, the governor's. Those are the facts, and you hit the nail on the head, sir. Yeah. Let's let it talk.
So, right now, Fulton and Montgomery counties have the highest levels around here
Of
COVID positive tests.
Mhm.
I think that, if anything, I'd rather see an opportunity for us to subsidize testing with our COVID money than I would to make a statement that has, we've made these statements before. They've never done anything but create some polarization, and it's not the real discussion in our community. So I don't support sending a letter that has no teeth or any purpose other than to make a statement. I don't think that's productive, but I certainly would support subsidizing testing in our community with our COVID money.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else? I think we're at a point where I would at least like to get a feeling or a flavor from the entire legislature. I've heard a couple of opposing opinions, and I'm not looking for those in favor of it. All I want to know is this something we want to come back and look at as an actual resolution as a body? We have two opinions that would say no, but Legislator Kelly.
I think, it should work through the committees like any other resolution.
Legislator Sweet?
Absolutely.
Bring it. Legislator Diamond?
No way.
You wouldn't want to look at it as a resolution?
No.
Legislator Headwell?
No.
Let us
I'd say yeah.
look at it. All right, so what do we have, with 3 and 2? No.
3.
Legislator Isabel?
Yeah, let's look at it.
You would like to look at it? 4-3? And you would not?
I'm not even going to give it a vote.
Okay. I think it's incumbent upon us to entertain it as a resolution and officially vote it down. So I will vote in favor of bringing it back as a
So it
resolution.
goes to committee.
Education.
You know.
Education.
Well,
It gets voted down, and it gets voted down in committee.
well, it's not a formal
Or
resolution.
then it go up to, then get voted down again.
Perhaps could, yes.
Well, that's an interesting point. I never made it there.
No, I'm just saying,
It's gonna go to committee.
it's gonna go to committee now.
Yeah, I think it should, as Legislator Kelly indicated, officially go through the process.
Yeah, I'm gonna amend it to do a recount of the vote.
All right, any other topic anybody would like to discuss?
This is what it's worth.
Motion to adjourn.
Second? Legislator Wilson, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.